Hi guys, it's Tuesday.
We are in the middle of a winter snowstorm, and winter mornings they have such a way of testing us all between frozen cars, missing boots, hats, mitts, computers, and the rush to get everyone out the door. It can feel like chaos from the moment the alarm goes off. That's why we're here with a special episode presented by Starbucks and Acast Creative to help you find that moment of pause amid the storm with Starbucks.
That's hilarious because we just finished a storm, and also you texted me last night and you said, let's get up Starbucks and podcast our face off because Starbucks is like our like time to calm and also our time to go. Like it's our moment, but then it's also like we're serious about the day. It's like we are gonna do it today.
Yeah, you're gonna get a coffee and you're gonna get your day started. But the crazy thing is that when we first had babies, and for everyone that's listening, in Canada, you get like a year maternity leave, and
18 months if you choose.
And 18 months.
Just gonna blow your mind there. You could get up to 18 months.
Man, let's not even go and discuss the paternity that you can.
Oh yeah, you can also divide it up with people.
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, you take it.
Now that didn't exist when we first had our babies, but when I had Taylor, she was born on December 13th, and I remember it being cold outside and feeling so isolated, and I knew that I needed to do something, and I was like, I need to get out of the house. I need to get fresh air, because if I just stare at this baby crying at me all day, then I'm going to stay in here
December
forever.
13th. What a terrible, like, I mean, if you can plan your babies, it's good and bad. Terrible because it's really hard to get out with a baby, a snowsuit, stroller, like the blankets for the snowsuit, and then also having because their skin is so delicate, having the things on their faces and then the covers. And remember we used to have those, I haven't seen those plastic covers in so long. Remember we used to have a plastic cover that would go over top, like for the rain and stuff. What do they do now?
I have no idea. It feels like such a like past memory, and then also like changing the diapers, and it was like such an overwhelming time. And at the time for us, we had babies before all of our friends, so all our friends are at work doing their own thing, and the one thing you could count on to have that consistent smell, that consistent atmosphere, the same people work there every day, was my outing, was just to walk to Starbucks.
I'll tell you, the people, the barista, I could not say that name for the longest time. Baratista, I used to say. But the barista, I would walk to the farthest one. So I could
take more time.
Well, because it was, I mean, I think for me, it was I needed a routine. I needed something that I knew I could do, because I remember I had Olivia in August, and I worked in the school board. So September for everyone is like a fresh start, especially when you work in the school board. It's like, it's
our new year.
Yeah, but not even as a mom, just even like as someone who worked in the school board, because this was my first baby. And I remember all the kids getting, like, having purpose to go back to something is actually really nice. It's nice to be off, but then by the end, when I worked in the school board, by the end of summer, I was ready to go back and do something different.
Yeah.
And you can feel the change, and everyone's going to do something. And I remember being like, I felt probably more alone than ever, because in summertime, everyone's kind of like off, and it's sort of like chill time. And then September, everyone's like, it's kind of serious.
Ghost town.
Your husband goes back to work full time. Like, it's not like summer hours. Like everything just starts. And I remember being kind of panicked, like, oh, now what am I actually going to do? And fun fact, before I had a baby, I didn't drink coffee.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I just never drank coffee. And it became, I had to start with a latte because the coffee was too strong. So I had to start with like a latte, but like with the vanilla, like a vanilla pump.
Oh, we also had to be careful because we were like breastfeeding. You didn't want too much caffeine. And
So I remember I would walk, and I was like, this is my job. This is what I'm doing.
So my job is to go to Starbucks.
And
when I get there, all of my my coworkers are there.
So I'd go there, and you'd like see other moms in line, and people would talk to you, and you were like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe people are talking to me. And then I would go and you'd see the same people.
Yes.
And you began to know the barista, and they knew you. And that was kind of what was so lovely, is they'd write your, like, you were a person. You weren't just, they'd watch your baby
ask
grow.
Your questions,
guys,
talk about your baby.
The barista's still like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is how big they are now.
Know.
Like it's like they have grown up with us, which is so crazy, because I don't think new moms know the lifeboat of needing. Listen, you all might be a different breed, but when we were new moms, that this was the lifeboat. It felt very alone. There wasn't social media like there is today. You couldn't just go on your phone and talk to people. you were alone and thinking you were doing it all wrong because you would see people and everyone looked so normal and you thought you were living in such a weird world because you'd be looking at them and you're like, why do you seem so okay?
I know.
Like, why are you so calm?
I know.
Like, this is not okay. Like, no one's okay.
I know,
and
but
everyone's
then
okay.
I would like, because it became such a part of the routine, it's like you got to be there on time, because if you go at the same time,
I have to
see
be
the
home for nap
same
time.
people all the time, and then someone else might have a baby and you just sort of strike it up, and then all of a sudden,
Blind date.
we're also like, you and I feed from energy of other people a lot. And so to be isolated and not be around people, because for us, it doesn't even actually matter if they're your good friends or not. We just want energy from people.
And by the way, there was no cell phones like there are today. So you'd have to thank God you had a baby, because you had to sit and do something. Like, because if you're sitting alone with nothing, you're just kind of sitting there and it's like, you're kind of like, but with a baby, you can go sit there and then you're doing something.
Yeah.
So you'd sit there and you'd watch people, like, you're like, oh, sorry, I moved my stroller. And then someone would strike up a conversation. How old's your baby? And you're like, oh my gosh. And you're like, you're like, oh
so
my gosh.
excited. Someone started. You knew, because it's such a friendly place, and then like they'll open the door for you.
Oh yeah,
always get you talking. And so you'd go there and you'd be like, these are my people, and then you'd go home for nap time, and then often I would go back and I would wait at Starbucks for Mark to get off the subway and then walk home with him, because I just needed more of that. Same people every day, same routine. Just
do you know how long cake pops have been around? Because I remember when they got old enough to get a cake pop.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's crazy. It's really crazy, the routines that we need as moms, and like the small comforts you find. Because I think that everyone, if you've had a baby and you're really isolated and you don't have a friend next door, like someone you can call. Because fun fact, Natalie and I were just beginning to date, like as mom friends, and we just had started. Olivia was 6 weeks old when you're like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. And I really didn't like getting in the car, because she didn't like the car seat and not being able to see them, because the car seat has to be behind. So having someone cry in the back while you're driving is like,
it's like brain rattling.
It's like a panic
It's
induced.
like, I can't focus on driving in traffic when someone's crying. I know one is a sound and another one is like eyes in action.
And then I couldn't wrap my head around nap time, like not being in a crib, because I held on to that so much too. So like nap time, when you're like, oh, do you
don't
drive?
Fall asleep in the car. Don't fall asleep in the car. Don't fall asleep in the car.
Well, also, but then it became nap, like a tiny nap in the morning in the car, and then we'll go for a little bit and then go home. Oh my God, the thank God I had nothing else going on, because what was so
overwhelming.
Oh my gosh. And the fact that Starbucks was overwhelming, like that was my main event. That was my main event.
Oh yeah,
that was it.
And then I went to Vancouver for a year, and again,
you sure did.
Starbucks was the end of my street. That's where I spent my time. But then when we got back together, we had this whole new routine where we would meet up. Kat and I would meet up with our strollers, and we would walk. And our reward after our walk was Starbucks
and nuts.
And mixed nuts, hummus and carrots, and Starbucks,
and the little carrot thing. We'd go back to your house and watch.
Oh my
it.
God! And I could just
you hated to walk. I'm like, we're going for a walk.
Yeah,
we go for like an hour.
Oh yeah, in a hill.
And then big hill. Oh my God. Yeah. And then at the end, I'm like, at the end, you can have a Starbucks. Yeah. Oh,
and then we would go and we would watch Kathy and Hoda, and we were just like literally visualizing, these are our people, this is how we hang out, we have our coffee. And there's something about like knowing what makes you feel ready for the day. And the thing is that we would get the exact same order. Okay.
I don't know how it's changed over time, which is so great. It's like, if everything's changed so much. Hold on, let's take a quick break, and then I'm going to tell you what I mean, because one of the biggest DMs we used to get is what is your Starbucks order, which is so weird, because I actually know what people are asking. Like, they want to know what you're drinking. Hold on, we'll be right back. It was such a thing, like, what's in your Starbucks cup? What's in your Starbucks cup? Oh my God, it was.
But the greatest thing was, for me, one of the things that made me feel like I was ready to start the day was to put lipstick on. And not only was that just like part of my routine, but it's what set our cups apart. So we knew that mine was the one with the lipstick on it. Yours didn't have the lipstick, because we had the exact same order.
And I've never owned a lipstick till I met you.
And my mom, like, that was part of her thing. Whenever we would like go anywhere, or even if we were like, I could tell we were getting close to our destination when my mom would pull out her lipstick. So like putting lipstick on, but that's how we knew whose cup was which cup was which.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's memory lane. I have such vivid memories of the first, I want to say, year with Olivia, like such vivid, like,
and it's not just like what you can see memory, but the feelings.
The year. I would say I remember when she began to walk. When we began to be able to walk to Starbucks. So I dropped the first nap. If you guys know the monuments of like dropping the first nap, so you have so much more time. She hated napping. She freaking hated napping in the morning. She was not.
She was a protester.
She was a protester. She would not nap long. She actually did not need a lot of sleep back then. Like she was not a sleeper. She wasn't like this kid who needed 4. When I hear people like doing 3-hour afternoon naps, I'm like, that maybe Chloe was like that, but like the rest of them, not. And maybe my big lazy one, Maxie, he slept like easily, but her, no. And I remember when I could walk her there, and it was a far walk. Like she walked so far out of that stroller, like from, oh my gosh, it was up and across and then through and down. It was a really far walk, but it was something that we could do. And I remember when we would take the morning. I can't believe that was like
that was our morning.
I can't believe that was it. Like I can't believe walking, because it would take her a while, because she was like, I want to say like 19 months.
Yeah.
And both of our girls were really fast early walkers. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh my God, she walks so far.
Your babies are walking. How old are they? We're like, yeah, they're too young to walk.
Yeah. And she would walk so far, and then we'd get there and I'd have to get her Starbucks order. And it used to be, I did. You know what I would do? I would get foam milk and put some brown sugar on top of it. So they would whip it for me. So it was like foam. Yeah. And then I would put some brown sugar on it. And she was like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And she would eat the foam, which is hilarious. And I'd have my coffee, and then we would walk back. And actually, she wasn't a big tantrumer, which was lovely. I know
she was very reasonable.
She went through like a no phase where she would not get in the stroller. So if you were late, forget about it. Like you would just have to walk home. Like, thank God I didn't have a lot going on.
Oh, and we had the cup holders for our coffees on our strollers, of course.
So I would walk home, and then she'd have a nap. And then things really went awry when we had 2. You know, when you add another one in there, and then you've got 2 schedules going. But I mean, it's
kind of crazy that like since they've been babies to now, like now their Starbucks like infatuation is different. But like they have lived at Starbucks.
I know.
Like
they should have had a life membership.
I know.
Like a pin.
I know.
You've been here 15 years. Congratulations.
Yes.
16. You did 16 years. Way to go.
It's so crazy. And even like when you drive by a Starbucks, you can count on the same. I remember there was this guy that I thought was like kind of cute. And every morning after I dropped off the kids, I would look to the left and he would be sitting having coffee. Guys, I'm married. I know. So I still have eyeballs. And on my way to Kat's house, the Starbucks at the end of my street, I would see him every morning. He would look at me. I would look at him. And then I'd drive to your house and then we would get it going.
But and the same guys would be there Thursday? So there was this group of guys.
Oh, yeah, I know the guys.
There would be like 7 or 8 guys that would meet every single Thursday morning. And it's really weird because you watch them age and they watch you age. Yes. And you literally watch people grow up and then they watch you grow up. And I remember they have been there, I mean, for really so long. And I also know that as our kids have gotten older, we've sat down there less. Like before we used to go and sit there like in the mornings and sit for a while. Like I was thinking when 7 a.m. used to be not early.
Yeah.
And I'd be out of the house going for a walk by like 7:15 because the kids were up at 6 and I'm like, I need to get out. Like in the summertime. I remember
showing up at your house with all my kids to just come and like hang for a minute in the morning before we took them to school. Yeah. Because I just needed to get out of the house.
Because we've been awake for so long. And I remember Mark and I, and actually it's how we found this current house was we'd be walking so early in the morning and we would just go down the streets to get to like different to just like kill time.
Yeah.
Like to kill time, which is like an outing, which is kind of sweet actually. Like
imagine having to kill time these days.
Like imagine just going to the Starbucks as your day.
Oh, I know.
And that's really actually so sweet if I really stop and think about it. Like that was my biggest worry. When you're potty training and you're so worried about like if they're going to pee their pants. Or
that was another great thing about Starbucks is they had big washrooms that you could go in there and they had the change tables.
Yeah, and you could bring your stroller in.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking, I'm like, there's been so many moments where you are it was such a simple time. Oh my gosh.
And we met so many moms. Like there'd be moms that you knew from school, but you didn't really have an opportunity because like drop off, pick up. And then at Starbucks, you really get to know them when you're waiting in line.
I've watched people break up in that store.
Yes. Remember we saw those people get a divorce.
my other, Olivia's like, you know, my memory of one of our people knows she was just crying in Starbucks and you were telling her to break up with him. Like, I am telling you the things. If you know what would be such a good series if Starbucks could talk.
I was
if
just
the
going to say,
tables could talk. If you could sit there and talk.
Think about the baristas and the bar. The stories they could tell.
Can they hear though?
They know
They're so
everything.
busy. They know the people who come in. They must watch divorces. They must watch. They know girlfriends and boyfriends come in.
I worked at a coffee shop growing up, and I knew everybody's
you're unique.
Everything.
You're unique.
And they're very busy at Starbucks. Very busy. I know, but no, I'm sure
and
they know
everything. And the machines are so loud.
Yeah. They definitely talk about all of the customers and the people. Yeah. Like it's like a live soap opera every day.
If the tables are close, so if you sit and listen carefully, and when you have a kid and like they're like busy, you can like just sit and listen and pretend you're like, then like here's your eat this and like ripping up food, and then you're just listening. But guys, it is actually the things, and some people think they're so quiet, and they're not so quiet.
No.
Like there's actually, my daughter goes to Starbucks now to study probably 3 nights a week. She meets her.
My daughter's like, I cannot.
They go to the street. The two of them meet.
Yeah,
and they go study.
I see kids studying there all the time. It's so cute.
They bring their headphones and they go and study and they do their thing.
And I love that you never feel rushed there. They'll let you stay for. It's not like restaurants. You've got a 1 hour limit.
Yeah.
Starbucks, you got a seat. You take your time. And then I love when like someone's like, "Oh, we're leaving here. You can have this seat." Such a little community. But the other thing is that once our children were older, it's like we needed Starbucks for something different. Side note, we did so many business meetings in Starbucks.
I know.
But now Starbucks for us is a moment that like everybody deserves, is just taking that time for you. It's not even necessarily what you're putting in your mouth. It's that moment that I'm doing this for me. Because when you go get yourself like a coffee, you're not doing it for anyone else but you. When you make dinner, you're making it for everybody. That coffee is for you.
It's true. And they don't want to drink it, which is even better. They're not like, can I have a sip?
No, exactly.
My oldest is now into coffee, which I'm like, pardon? I'm like, you are drinking coffee at 16?
I remember high school girls and their coffees. I was like, what?
I was like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's part of our culture.
And they have all the good drinks now. They have like delicious different kinds of drinks, which to me is so fun because they're always like, so many people have like season changers, or like they're in the middle, like I'm going to go have like this one. We go on the road too when we were on tour. Oh my gosh. Starbucks was our second home. Like it's where we would our bus driver, I kid you not. This sounds so crazy that number one, we had a bus, and number two, that we had a bus driver.
So guys, just, like sometimes there would be like 12 of us sleeping on a bus. So we're all in bunks. We have a bathroom, but not a shower. And you would just land somewhere in the morning.
Well, so we would land somewhere, and kind of you knew what city you were going to, like, but you didn't know the layout of the city, okay? And you could be outside of Houston, you could be outside of Dallas, you could be outside of Vancouver. Like, you don't really know where you're going to be. So we'd wake up in the morning in the bunk, and we would open up our map app. So you open up your maps, and then you can put in Starbucks, and you can see the closest one. So then the Starbucks populates. This sounds like a joke story. I am not lying to you right now. We would screenshot where we were going. Our bus driver's like, we'd wake up, Roy, I love you. Roy would be like, the Starbucks is like a 5-minute walk that way. He would go and park close for us because it's like the one consistency we had wherever we would go. And
always warm.
It's like when you're on the road, and some restaurants don't open till 11. You don't know if it's a good breakfast place. Like you don't know where to go. You don't. Yeah, and you have to use the bathroom. Oh my God, you have to use the bathroom because you don't get the bathroom for what you need the bathroom for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we would all go to Starbucks, and the whole team would meet there. Like all of us would, so nostalgic.
I know.
Oh my gosh, forget the babies. I'm thinking of tour right now.
Oh my gosh. And then we'd debrief on the drama of the night before.
And there was always drama. I don't know how there was always drama, but someone was in like relationships and they'd be in a fight on the bus. And then we'd sit there and we'd talk about all of the things the day before. And actually people would come from that city to Starbucks and be like, I knew I could find you at the Starbucks. And really there was the locations, some of them like looked different because there was different vibes in each like city, but consistently all the same, like drinks and the same, like you knew the consistency was there, but you could go and get a taste for the people when you would go, because some of the the seats were like, there was so many seats. Some were like less seats. Like it was, some people would sit down for so long. There'd be like, you knew if you were in a high school or a
university town,
because they'd be all doing their school.
Yeah.
It was just, it's like you had the pulse of where you were if you went there. And
it's the only place, no matter where you go, that it exists.
Yeah,
something you can count on. I mean, I guess there would be like fast food places, but we don't want to.
No, you're not sitting there for a long time. No. You're not going there for like, and you can eat and drink, so you can get all your food there.
Yes.
And then you can get. Okay, there was this one time. So we were in Jasper. Okay, I kid you not, in Jasper. Now we were at a beautiful hotel, but we went to Starbucks because we had rented a car because Natalie and I don't know what happened. Did we get the wrong day? Something happened where we got the wrong day or we had the wrong flight and the car driver wasn't there. So we had to rent a car. Something happened. Oh, our tour manager got the wrong day. Something happened with the communication. So we had to.
So we got a neon green Jeep.
Yellow or green?
Yellow.
Mm-hmm. So we got in the car. So we had some flexibility. So obviously we had to go to Starbucks. Mm-hmm. I kid you not, it's a thing for us. Okay, if you're looking for us in a town, we're at Starbucks. We went to Starbucks, and I remember I was waiting for the order. I think we were with the two girls, and you were in line, or I was sitting there, and I'm waiting, and I'm talking to a mom. She's there with her two sons, and they're sitting down and we're talking. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. She's like, I knew I'd find. She goes, I knew I'd find. She goes, I had a feeling I was going to see you at Starbucks. Mm-hmm. And there we are at Starbucks. Mm-hmm. She's like, I don't know why I thought that. I just thought I would see you guys here. Mm-hmm. She tells me that she's a hockey mom. For them to go to any game or any like practice. So their games are 4 hours away from where they live. 4 hours. So she spends 4 hours driving to a game.
And then 4 hours home. Yeah.
I'm like, are you staying here? She's like, no, we're just like, this is where we're like, we refuel. We like have something to eat. We get a Starbucks and then we leave. And I was like, I'm like, the stories of what we've met people in Starbucks where, we've been in like a Detroit Starbucks and something.
That one crazy meeting that we had there that one time.
Which one?
I know. Sometimes people try to catfish us, by the way, just be warned. And of course, we're always like, safe place, meet us at our Starbucks.
Was this the book one?
Yes. I just walked in an elevator and I saw her husband for the first time in all those years. By the way, he looks amazing and fabulous. And
are they still together?
I don't know. Remember how he always had a smile on his face? Do you remember him?
Yeah, it was like you have to refresh me, but it was under the guise of let's go for a coffee. And then it was like a Ponzi scheme, a pyramid,
like a pyramid scheme.
It was like but we had never. That was not the plan to go meet. We were there to go have like a friendly conversation.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, I know we're best-selling authors and everything, but if you're trying to get people to sell books, it ain't us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it was books that had like a tone to them.
I know. I don't know.
Oh, we are not that. Like maybe it was Bibles.
Yeah, something. I don't know. But it was definitely not aligned with the two of us for sure.
We were not. Yeah.
I got so many memories. Remember all the meetings with Gary at the Starbucks? Oh my gosh. God. And then when we first started thinking about doing anything with Cat and Nat, this girl was like, you know what? You guys need a business plan. We're like, no, we don't. And she's like, well, you have to commit to meeting me once a week in the evening at Starbucks. The two of us were like, we get out of the house and act like it's.
We were like, oh my God, we have to. We don't know if we can leave. We had to wait till all the babies were in bed, Natalie.
And then we had to give an excuse to our husbands why we would be going out for a couple hours. It's business.
We couldn't even leave from 4 to 5 in the morning. Oh no, we had to leave at nighttime after they were in bed. What's wrong with us?
I don't know. I mean, the one thing is that we have evolved.
Yeah, we have.
And we also go through phases. We're very much like we're inconsistent kind of people. We often come back to like our regular order, but you do a lot of teas. There's all different kinds of espresso drinks. There's all the summer drinks. And we're experimental. You've got something new, we'll try it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I go, nighttime's my tea time. Like if I'm going to the hockey game, the rink, it's always tea. I get the biggest Starbucks. They put 2 tea bags, but I keep one in my pocket and I only put one in and I don't take it out. Oh. And then that's weird.
What do you do with the second tea bag?
I keep it for like another time.
Oh, nice.
Because if you get a venti, they give you 2 tea bags.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I just keep my second.
What's your tea?
Well, I either like the peppermint one right now. It's like Majesty or
minty tea.
Mint. Well, did like peach, but it's gone.
I remember we were peach tea drinkers. I remember that was fun.
I don't know if we ran out of peaches, but Starbucks, if you can bring that one back. So then I do Mint Majesty or the peppermint something. So I don't mind those because I feel like they give you good breath while you're talking to people.
Yeah, people love mint tea. And it's good for your like digestive.
Oh, I just do it so when I'm talking, because if you have like other tea, it smells not
bad.
so good.
Yeah.
So I went through a London fog phase.
Oh my gosh, yes. I love
went
that
through
phase.
a brown sugar oat espresso shaken.
Oh, yeah.
I did that when that was new. I've done a cortado.
Yes. I mean, I'm definitely
cortados.
the brown sugar cortado right now is just like the perfect winter, like yum. I feel warm. I feel cozy. I feel like I'm treating myself. I feel like I deserve it.
We get the sandwiches. Like, know what? They have mini pancakes now. We go off the hook for those.
Oh, those are so. Your son.
We do the banana.
How many come in order?
8.
He puts 8 in his mouth.
And we have to double order.
Oh my!
You can get 4 or 8.
They're so cute.
We do 8. We do 8 times 2, which is 16. We get the cinnamon roll. We also get the banana loaf. We also get the double smoked bacon sandwich and the turkey.
I also love the egg bites, and then they have sriracha on the side.
Egg white turkey bacon sandwich. The whole thing is
Teddy's the lemon loaf.
No, the whole thing's crazy. The whole thing is like actually crazy. Like it's actually crazy that if you went through my previous history in my phone you'd be like, oh my husband's like, oh my gosh, you guys. But
yeah, thank God for the app.
Thank God for that app.
I know.
Yeah, I mean the trips down memory lane. Honest to God, I feel like I could sit at Starbucks and write a book about what we've done at Starbucks. And I'm telling you, when you walk in to a city and you see our tour team sitting there, we look so hodgepodge. Like you're like, what is actually going on with all of these people? You're kind of confused because we look a little bit dirty. Because like, it's like
we have makeup from the last night,
and it's like
and everyone's like, what does that guy have to do with that girl? Like, how are these people all connected?
And then Romeo walks in with some weird top and like his big beefcake muscles, and then Hassan, who's like 6'10", also sitting there with a big coat on, and then like there's the bus driver, and then people
tour manager.
Oh, the whole thing is just like kind of it's sort of weird, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
because everyone's looking like, what is actually this group of people?
It's really fun. Like, it's a time in our lives, and then we would turn like the front of the bus into a party at night, but it all started again with Starbucks, just like it did when we had babies. I mean, I can't believe one day we're not going to have any kids at home, but the one thing that we know, we'll still have that Starbucks. And
we'll probably see our kids there.
Oh my God! Maybe that'll be their first job.
Maybe.
I love talking about this, and every time I see moms walking with their strollers and their Starbucks, I just think there's us that many years ago.
You know what else I do lately? When I see what shoes they're wearing, like what's cool now, because I feel like young moms know what's cool. Like, what are you wearing in winter?
I'm so lost. I don't even think I could attempt to be cool.
Just go to Starbucks and see what they're wearing.
Yeah,
and then oh my God, the young moms are wearing that. They look good. Yes. They also wear they don't wear parkas. They wear like cool coats and they layer.
Gosh,
and they're cool.
I also used to love at my Starbucks because I lived in a first floor apartment on my first house. And it was in a wealthy neighborhood, and I used to love to see their diamond rings at the cash.
Oh, girl, preach.
My gosh. Guys, thanks so much for listening to this special episode presented by Starbucks and Acast Creative. We hope these winter survival tips help recharge you in those moments when screaming kids, endless emails, or just the winter blues are sending you over the edge. Grab your drink and take a beat, because you and we all deserve it.
Bye, y'all.